Hello and welcome. This reading is for the parent and or guardian of the Libra child. I am Elena Valdez. Thank you once again for visiting my channel. This is the November read. I hope you got a chance to see my October child tarot. As you can tell, this is a new channel. I'm trying to get it up and going. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, sharing, all that, commenting, all that good stuff, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so I have already meditated on Libra child energy and I have already pre-shuffled the cards. I will shuffle once again in front of you. I hope everyone is doing well and let's get started. Okay, so this is for the Libra child. And I'm going to use the MONSTAROT deck once again because it so beautifully captures the essence of the child. And that's the perspective that we are reading from. So we're going to pull 3 different positions for the child perspective. And we are going to end with an advice card from Spirit for the parent or guardian. Okay? All right, let's do it. And like I said, I have already pre-shuffled. Please keep in mind that there's no gender specific. This is not a gender specific read, although I will often jump around between he, she, they, just for ease of reading, but it doesn't mean that it's a gender read. Okay, let's see how the Libra child is doing in November. Okay, so the first question is, what is the Libra child experiencing during the month of November? Spirit, what is the Libra child experiencing during the month of November? What does the guardian need to know about what the child is experiencing in November? These are pretty big cards and sometimes they're a bit difficult to shuffle. Oh, there we go. Here's our flipper. Very nice and very appropriate. So the first card out of the gate is the Justice card, which is perfect, right? Because it represents Libra. Okay, beautiful. So that's what your child is experiencing. I'll come back and I'll do the read. So basically what that is that your child is in their element, which is very, very beautiful. Okay, Spirit, what are the challenges, potential challenge or challenges that the Libra child may be facing during the month of November? Oops, was that an actual flip? Yeah, it was. Okay, perfect. That was fast. Oh, little Libra. Okay, we'll get back to it. Here's what you got for that position. Aren't these cards beautiful? Okay, so the next question is, and this, by the way, this next position, the third position, I feel is the most important position of the spread. And that is, what does the Libra child need most from his, her, their parent or guardian? What does Libra child need most from you in November? Okay, what is your Libra child experience or need from you during the month of November? Okay. All right, very nice. Okay, so let's get started. The first card, Justice. So not only is your little one in their element, in terms of their Libran ways. But your little one is also coming into some experiences of cause and effect during the month of November. Also learning that, decisions, the things we say and do have consequence. And that's huge. This card is a pretty powerful card, regardless if it has little monsters in the card. It doesn't matter. It always has a feel of just this powerful stance, regardless from what deck you pull from. It's always a powerful card. It's about balance. It's about equal give and take. But most importantly, it's about consequence, learning the cause and effect of things, right? So you have a little Libra here, and I know that there are the age range here is going to vary, right? Some of you are here for little itty bitty ones. Some of you are here for teenagers. And maybe some of you are here for grown-ups, right? Because let's be honest, that's still your child, right? To some extent. So that's totally valid. And I think that what's happening with your little Libra this month is that either A, they're observing, they're learning. This could be political too. It could be everything that's going on in the media currently, all that we're going on, especially here in the US. But regardless of where you are in the world, there's a sense that, and of course, this is going to depend on the age range, right, of your child, but there's a sense that your child is paying attention and observing what it means to have justice and fight for rights, and not just on a whole level, on a larger scheme of things in terms of the world and politics, but also within the home context and even within the classroom context, right? Within friends and peers, and the what's right, what's wrong aspect in terms of friendships as well. So your Libra is pretty powerfully growing up quickly here in November. There is something that he, she, they are going to witness or be a part of that's pretty impactful and powerful in terms of a lesson that they learn that has to do with right or wrong, with what's just, cause and effect, and balance, right? So also this could be sometimes, like especially with a child read, this could be a little one pushing their own boundaries to see how much is fair to get away with, right? So there are a group of you who are dealing with a little Libra who's maybe, trying to see how hard they can push or how much they can get away with. Like, what's the consequence of said action? And so some of you do have that going on, and maybe a little mischievous, like, ooh, you see that cute little face there? It almost looks like, ooh, what can I say now? And can I get away with saying, I mean, I'm sure that's not the intent that the illustrator had when she created this beautiful little monster, but that's what I'm picking up. I'm picking up a little bit of, ooh, if I do this, how much will it tilt the balance? Or will it? Or can I get away with it, right? So some of you are dealing with that balancing of how much to get away with. Okay, so that's what they're experiencing during the month of November. But the bottom line with this is that there are lessons that your child will learn or will observe, or even consequences that they'll observe around them going on with the adults in their lives. Like maybe something happens, someone says a little white lie and there's a consequence that they observe, or vice versa, right? Okay, and then the challenge here, and this is actually very, very interesting because it could be related to this pushing the boundaries a bit to see how much they can get away with it. Because the challenge for November is a bit of a heartbreak and sadness, right? And it's swords. So it has to do with communication, right? But depending on the age that your child is, that you're here for, that your child, right? This can mean a couple of things. For example, the first group of Libra children could be experiencing this pressing the boundaries, and then there being a major result of that doesn't end so well. And they may get their little feelings hurt, or they may feel the sadness of disappointing the adults or their friends or what have you as a result of this pushing the boundary, right? Another thing this can be is whatever they observe, whatever consequence they observe an adult having to deal with because of something they may have done that's not so nice, could really very much cause them heartache or sadness, or consequently affect their day-to-day as well. It could also be balancing their words, their speech, right? Because it's swords. Swords is communication. It's the mind. So it could be something that they're having a difficult time communicating fairly, and it comes back to bite them. Or it could be the other way around. Somebody in their circle of friends, peers, siblings even, may have said something to hurt them or hurt their feelings, right? Because this is a very vulnerable position. You have, look at the contrast here. You come out of the gate with, bam, I am a powerful little guy here. And then there's a, uh-oh, we have some problems. Something didn't go as planned. But also, in the more literal sense, if you have a little gal here or guy that's a little older, perhaps already at the age of crushes, you know, there may be a little bit of a literal heartbreak, like literal, oh, he's not really that into me, or she's not really that into me, or why are they paying attention to her, not me, kind of thing. So there could be that as well. But it has to do with this pushing the boundary deal, right? Again, it depends on the age of your little one, because you're all here for a different age. And so keep that in mind. But you get the gist here, right? It all has to do with cause and effect. It all has to do with pushing boundaries here. And it's consistent regardless of what theme it is for your household. Okay, and then we have the Nine of Wands for what they need most from you this month. I love the Nine of Wands. There is determination here, and there is success here, but it doesn't occur until a little bit of battle has taken place, right? So what your child needs from you is to remind him, her, them, or they that they're almost there, that it's okay, that they're actually succeeding, even if it doesn't feel like it to them, even if they feel tired, right? Because the Nine of Wands makes us feel, it's like that you're at that point where, yes, you could potentially be successful at something, but you're so tired that you're not sure if you want to keep going. You're almost at the 10, but this is where it feels the heaviest. This is where carrying the Nine of Wands feels the heaviest. So, but there is success at the end of the Nine of Wands. So your child needs you to remind them or encourage them, continue encouraging them to keep going. So, or that this situation is going to be okay. They need to know, but this happens through action. So, for example, let's say there's something your little one did here that wasn't fair, and that's why they ended up in this position. You can help them by taking action and making this right. So perhaps they need to write a letter to someone, or they need to physically go to that person's house and apologize. Or let's say they see some injustices on television about homeless children, then perhaps if you sit with them and physically show them, teach them that they can write a letter to Congress people or wherever, depending on where you live and however your legal system works in whatever part of the world you are, right? So in other words, what your child needs most from you is for you as a parent to show them and encourage them and remind them that they are powerful regardless of where they may find themselves, regardless of how powerless they think they may be, that's actually not true, that they actually are powerful, that they actually can do something about it by taking action, because that is the bottom line of Wands. It's action and vitality, right? But here in the Nine of Wands, it's the point of being tired and weary of having dealt with the chaos, the journey that begins with the Two of Wands and onward, right? And so when this shows up and what he, she, they need most from you, it is very clear to me that it's about you facilitating action to writing whatever this is. Okay, and that's going to be different. I use the example of a letter, but it could be something, a little more, because I don't know how serious, what it is exactly that you're dealing in your household. All I know is that your child needs you to let them know that they are not powerless and that they can do something about whatever this injustice is. And just hold their hand, walk through with them through this little journey, and they're going to take a big lesson from this. There's something huge that they're going to learn here in November. It's a very powerful read, actually. I'm very curious to see what this is about. So if you don't mind commenting on what this could potentially be, I would very much appreciate that. Okay, so let's move on to the message that Spirit has for you. Okay, and like I said, I've already pre-shuffled these, but I will do it again. Okay, Spirit, what advice do you have for the parent, guardian of the Libra child? What advice do you have? Let's see what advice Spirit has for you. Usually this is tied to the challenge, because remember, this card is in relationship to your child, right? So it's potentially what they need from you, but from a different aspect, or different angle. Isn't that beautiful? You got the Page of Shells. And the keywords are intuition and inspiration. So the Page of Shells is the Page of Cups. And so the advice that Spirit has for you here, parent, guardian of Libra child, is that first and foremost, whatever issue your child is going through may not be apparent to you right away. And you're being asked to observe your child through your intuition, and to just observe and see and observe your child from a child perspective, or from a page perspective, not from the parent perspective, but more so from if you were your child's peer. I'm really feeling this for a little older child as well, because there's something that you may be missing, because, obviously you're looking at it from the parent perspective. Of course you would. However, there's something that you're going to be able to access and see more easily when you step into almost like a peer lens, or a page lens. I'm not saying to become your child's buddy and disregard your parental, duties. All what I'm saying is to observe your child from a lens, as if from a non-parent lens, maybe from the same age range lens. And when you observe your child from that angle, you're going to pick up some information that maybe is not so obviously there regarding this situation here. And that's going to come from your intuition as well. And that's where the inspiration is going to come from, because you're going to pick it up. There's something that's going to be picked up by shifting this gear a little bit. I'm picking up that your child may not be so openly available to tell you what's going on. So you're going to need to kind of do a little bit of your intuitive research here, if you will. November is a great time to be like our own detective too, because it's a Scorpio season and Sag season as well. And they're both great detectives, right? They're all about, Scorpio and Sag season is all about seeing the BS in things. So, and I'm not saying that your child is BSing you, but there's something that your child is maybe not so readily available to inform you that's going on. And it could be for many reasons. It doesn't mean that they're being sneaky or lying to you. It could just mean that they may not even be old enough to articulate it in words what it is that's happening, right? So this is why you're going to need to kick into the intuitive mode of the Page of Shells to actually see or pick up on what may be happening with your child that they are not yet able to articulate. But remember the Nine of Wands again. The Nine of Wands is about being tired, weary, on the brink of giving up. So your little one may be giving up on something because they feel powerless. But remember that the most important for you to focus on in terms of this read is to show them the way to gaining the power back in whatever context that is for you. I use the example of writing a letter, but you, of course, it could be anything. It could be they're upset because they cannot ride a bicycle. Well, then take the action and get on a bike. But the bottom line here is that there is something that you're going to be able to see intuitively that's going to actually inspire you to help them take action when you step back from the lens of a parent and look at the situation as if you were their peer. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that this helps someone here today. And I wish everyone a wonderful November. Thanks again. I'm going to leave it there. And again, I'd like to ask you one more time to please subscribe, like, comment, and all that good stuff. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.